My name is Gabrielle Harris, and I'm with Mother Carr, mother of Eric Garner. It's been 2 years, Mother Carr, since that fatal day.
Yes.
You decided to take your struggle, as you said, and create a strategy
Yes.
from mourning to the movement now.
Yes.
Will you describe to me what that movement is?
Well, my mission actually is to keep awareness out there, to keep hope up, and to give a face to the faceless and names to the nameless. So just because my case was high profile, some cases never got any coverage, any news coverage, any media coverage. And their pain is as real as mine. And we want to bring awareness to them also.
Awareness. When you say that, are we talking about the instances of police brutality?
Yes. Uh, it happens more than people realize. It happens more than I actually realized until it actually happened to me, until it came knocking on my door. Then, after me hearing so much about the police brutality and really investigating, it's like it's happening every day, all day to people of color. And police brutality is real.
Is police brutality the source, or is it a symptom of a greater problem we have here in America?
Well, it's a symptom because the police, they feel like they are justified in killing off people of color. And they only could feel like that if their superiors allow this. If they were disciplined for their misconduct, it would never go this far. My son would probably be alive today if they would listen to protocol, if they go by the rules and by the book, but they seem to be on their own agenda.
Pantalia, he's just now been indicted for charges of an inappropriate stop and frisk that happened years before he ever met your son, Eric Garner. Do you believe that there were protocols in place?
He's, they sometimes they indict, which they did no indictment in my case. And sometimes they even convict, and there's no jail time served. What's the use of convicting a criminal if he's going to go free, if there's not going to be any accountability? That gives them the go ahead to go do the crime again and again. Pandaleo has no fear at this moment because he got away with it. If you watch the video, he was waving at the camera like, hey, take my picture. It doesn't matter. So anytime a police officer has this mentality,
What should parents tell their children? How should they conduct themselves when they interact with police?
well, that's the conversation that mothers and fathers shouldn't have to have with children, but we as people of color have to. And we try to tell them things to keep them alive, unfortunately. It should be, well, we just want you to cooperate with the police if they, feel that you did something wrong. If you did something wrong, cooperate with them. If they ask you to put your hands up, you put your hands up. If they ask you to sit down or lay down, do it. And we do tell our children that, but that doesn't save their life all the time. You know. I would tell a young man, particularly it happens to young women also, but particularly young men, if you're driving in the car and you're stopped by the police, don't make any sudden moves. Keep your hands on the steering wheel until they ask you for your license. And when you're stopped, if you have your phone, don't put the camera in their face. Put the voice part on and lay your phone on the seat face down, and you're being recorded. They don't even know that you're recording them. Do things that will coincide with what if something happens, with what you say against what the police might say. We have to do all kinds of things to protect ourselves. Don't get loud with the police because they're going to say they felt threatened. Any sudden hand gestures, they felt threatened. They thought you had a weapon. Because far as they're concerned, anything is a weapon for as people of color. You could just do a hand wave. That was a weapon. They were going to attack me. So sometimes, depending on who the police officer is, sometimes you have no win. They have their own agenda. They had their mind made up when they stopped you. But now the decent police, of course, they're going to follow protocol. They're just going to stop you. And for whatever reason, for speeding, for maybe they see that the car might have been stolen or whatever, and pull you over and ask for your license and registration. And if they find that they've made a mistake, they just tell you, oh, sorry, and let you go, or give you a ticket for whatever. You may be in the wrong, you may be speeding. So give you a ticket for, the violation. But you never know who's pulling you over. And we have that fear as people of color. I know I spoke to a white woman. I didn't actually speak to her. She was on a panel um, that I was at. And when she was listening to our stories and listening to how we are treated when police stop us, she was in disarray. She says, I've been stopped by the police and I've never had that kind of fear. I never thought about the police harassing me in those type of ways. She says, but now listening to people of color, I see it is real. And we try to tell people it's real. But other people will say, or police or elected officials will say, well, what are they complaining about now? We're complaining because they keep killing our children. They keep brutalizing our children. And we want it to stop. And we know that we have to do our part in telling our children the right way to go and what to do, like when you're out there in the street. But it should be a police community relationship, I think. It would be better off. It would be win win on both sides, I think.
There's a lot of levels of youth apathy, youth believing the system is broken, therefore, why participate? What's your message to those 18 to 34-year-olds who are so needed to get out and vote?
They need to vote. No matter who you vote for, you have to get out and vote because you have to at least pick your candidate. Don't let someone pick the candidate for you. And then the wrong candidate get in, although you said there's no hope, but you pick the best of the two, who you feel is the best of the two. Because if you don't vote, then don't complain. Because it's evident someone is going to become president, whether you vote or whether you don't. So your job is to get out there and vote.
Wow. You're incredible. You've been able to take this traumatic experience, transform it, and you've touched so many lives.
Yes, so and so.
You pour your spirit into so many others.
Yes.
Who is your support network?
Well, my family, first of all, they have been great with standing behind me. They have just been awesome. I could just ask for a favor because I need to do this, I need to go here, whatever. And they're there for me. And I have Reverend Sharpton with the National Action Network family. They've been there for me since day one till now. And anything that we have to do, because now we are looking for the DOJ to take up my son's case. They did take my son's case, but we're looking for answers. Anytime we have to go visit, we have the Nan family there with us. Anything we need, going forward, when there's a march, when there's a press conference, they're always on the phone with us, letting us know what's going on. And I think that's awesome because a lot of times you hook up with a group, like when you're in pain, when you're grieving, and they're there when The cameras are there. But when the lights go off, everyone goes away. But they haven't been that type of group. I mean, they are really awesome.
5 years from now, in a perfect world,
Hmm?
5 wishes.
Well, I wish that we can get justice for my son. And justice would mean all the police officers who was involved in his murder that day stand accountable for that misjustice and that ill treatment that they gave him and serve time, lose their jobs. I really wish for that. And it won't be justice for him, but it would be closure for me. And another thing, I wish that to keep his legacy alive, to keep awareness up on his name, so that people who come back behind him may benefit because they will see that because of his death, new laws were implemented. And I would like to see that all people, people of color, black, brown, any color, is treated equally, is treated with dignity. And I would like to see that this world is a more peaceful world for us to live in. And, we don't have to be afraid. We don't have to look over our backs, and especially we haven't done anything wrong. I just wish that humanity would rise up and take a stand and say, hey, this is not right. Let's all people be treated fairly, not just the Caucasians or the rich.
A lot of noise has been made with the youth on social media,
Mm-hmm.
different platforms like Facebook and Tumblr. There have been
Yes.
memes. It seems like our generation is deeply concerned and angered by these events. My
Mm-hmm.
question to you is how best can we focus that energy to make active change?
Yeah, well, some people are angry. They get angry for a moment, and then when the news become old news, they they relax. But you can't relax. You got to either be in a moment or in a movement. Because once you lay back, they say, oh, it's okay. They sweep that up under the rug. You cannot let them sweep these things up under the rug. You have to keep awareness out there. And then when something else happens, you have to combine the two. You don't let it go. And, it's just that it has to be a collective effort. I can't think that my case is more important than your case. Your husband or your father was killed just like my son was. So we all feel in this pain. A lot of people don't know the pain that we feel, but we know it because it's the same type of pain. So it's a collective effort we have to